Good evening, rockers. Vegas Rock got us here on the rocks. Total entertainment coming to you live from somewhere off the Las Vegas Strip. Tonight, great band, Dress the Dead. This is an amazing LA band. So we're going to talk to them tonight. They've got a new EP out, which is okay. So we're going to get them on right now.
Hello.
Hey, Craig, how are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Great. I am so excited to talk to you about this new EP. I've been listening to it all week. Amazing.
Oh, cool. Yeah, James will be popping on too at some point
Okay.
here.
Yeah,
I'm
no
not sure.
worries.
Yeah, I sent him a text and told him where the link was at and all the stuff like that. I'm
Okay.
glad you like it. I'm really glad
Yeah,
you like it.
great. I mean, I love painless injection, like right out of the gate.
It's great. To be different. I mean, we could save it for the interview, but to actually be different is an uphill climb. You know, what I mean, people don't always
Yeah,
want different. They want background music, and that's definitely not what we are. So,
right.
you
Yeah,
know,
I
and
am.
so this.
Yeah, we are recording right now, so we'll just talk, you know, and we'll
Okay.
wait for Michael to come on. But I've been following you for quite a while, Craig, on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Instagram and Facebook.
yeah. I don't know what to say about that. I'm stream of consciousness guy. I don't do anything else other than whatever pops, in
Right,
my
right,
head.
of
Uh,
course.
yeah, I mean, well, so I think some people really work on their content and like content.
But you're
Like
a
you don't
busy
see me.
guy. You're a busy guy.
I've been fucking. I can say fuck, right?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, I've been fucking insanely busy as of late. Obviously preparing to go to Europe and stuff.
Right.
So yeah, and that's going well too. But that's not necessarily what this is about. But we can kind of parlay or segue whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because I mean, you're such an amazing guitar player. Um, with this EP, I mean, right out of the gate, crushing guitars. I mean, I love it.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's a totally different approach. If you know
Yeah.
anything about the history of the stuff I've done over the years,
Right.
I mean, when I was a kid and I started in Forbidden, I could hear. I think he just wrote me. James just said something. He'll be
Okay.
popping on any second, I think.
Okay.
But I just, I mean, I barely when we did the first album, I was like 18. I was 18. I'd only been
Right.
playing guitar for really a couple of years, but I could hang on, and then as time went on, I got a lot better, and I branched out. I'm not a guy who like stays in one lane. I move around to what I love, like classic rock and super thrash metal, and then this
Right.
is like somewhere between all that. I feel like Dress to Dead's a culmination of all the cool, somewhere between the Beatles and Gojira.
Yeah. We'll
I
talk
mean, it's
about
it's
that.
just whatever comes. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll talk about that when he comes on. Because yeah, you kind of you kind of hit the nail right on the head. I mean, you're such a versatile guitarist. I mean, you can pretty much play anything. And
Eh, I thank you. There's certain like I'm not like I have my own version of shredding, but I'm not really a shredder per se. I always have another guy in Forbidden who is always like the shredder over on the other
uh-huh,
side where I'd write the music and
right.
in Dress to Dead I guess I do more of the shredding and Mikey's more of the color. Like Mikey is a great guitar player. Everyone in the band's super talented. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
there's lead bass all over the whole thing. Like James is such an incredible bass player, and he played with me in Man Made God, so we have
right.
that experience of working with Rick Rubin and just all that like major label thing in our back pocket that we have too that we've done.
But yeah, all those elements that you just talked about is in this band. So we'll talk about that for
Yeah,
sure.
right on. Let me. You want me to check what he said on the text real quick,
Yeah, that's fine. No worries.
or is that him right coming in right now? Is he coming in? Is he coming in?
Not yet.
Hold on. Let me just look. you might not see me for half a second. Oh no, he's not going to come in. He's having an ocular problem.
Oh
I think
no.
he's having an eye thing going on right now.
Oh
Poor
no.
guy. So it's just me and you.
Okay.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
We'll
Poor
roll with
guy.
it. Poor
All
guy. I
right.
hope he feels better. Okay. So yeah, let's get to the nitty gritty. This EP, like I said from the get go, um, is amazing. It has melodic tones. It has rock tones in it. Um, Almost like the first couple songs, it's kind of a surprise in the beginning, and then you go right for it. And I
Hmm.
just, like I said, Painless Injection, great song. Now, do you do a lot of the writing, or does the whole band collectively do the writing?
Well, the whole band kind of. I mean, it started when I started Dress the Dead. I did all the writing of the riffs, and basically we all. I mean, I feel like every time we ever got in a room, we wrote together, but it was always starting with my ideas. And then when Mikey got in the band, he's very prolifically creative himself. So a lot of really cool atmospheric stuff and some crazy heavy riffs. Like Mikey was starting to really lean into for this last batch a lot of really like punk energy kind of things that play off of what I play, and then we just complement each other. Like if I go one direction, he'll go the other direction, and he's a great writing partner in that way, and just a fantastic talent guy. And the band. I mean, we were cool. I mean, I don't know if you know, but we had a guitar player, Dan DeLay, who was great. I got
Yeah,
him for the same reason. I got
right.
Dan because he was atmospheric too, and I didn't want to have just two metal dudes playing. I never felt like Dress the Dead should ever be just two metal guys just doing metal things. I always felt like atmosphere, beauty, tension. Those are things. That's what I wanted this band to be, and I think we got that. I think over time it finally evolved into what it is on this EP, which is what we were just really getting to, like the getting to our pinnacle. It was starting to become like, okay, now we've got it. And then I got derailed by some other plans for a little while, but regardless, this is sitting in history. We have it. We can go back to it, and we can pick up where we leave off.
Absolutely. And with this EP, it's really strong. And the first single is Painless Injection, which I think
Mhm.
is amazing to start off with that, because I know it's a 5-song EP. And your
I think
singer,
Painless is the last song
it
on
is
the
the last one.
EP.
Okay,
Yeah, but I mean, but we released. It's a different version of the song, right? Because we
okay,
had one that we released before that didn't have the outro,
right.
and that was kind of out there. It's considered kind of a single by today's standards. When you you throw your shit in the wind and see if anyone catches it, because that's how
Yeah.
it works these days.
Right,
So
right.
yeah, but we did have that out for a long time, and then we re-released it on the back end of this thing with an outro that we'd written. I mean, it was all one piece of music that we had written with the outro, and so we had cut that off on the original version you're thinking of. So now that's in there. It's a very atmospheric. There's a lot
It
you can't,
is.
there's up and downs and mood swings and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, when I like I said, when I had to listen to it a couple times to really kind of get the gist of it. You'd be like into something, and then something else would happen, which
It's a
is,
challenge.
yeah,
It's yeah. That's one thing with this band, and there's a reason for that. I mean, first of all, Kayla's a spectacular talent in her own
oh
right,
my
and
god,
that goes without saying, right? You hear it, and you're like, oh my god, this singer's great. But we don't write together. We write like the music's written over here, and then she gets inspired and writes what she writes over there. And then for this EP, we came together and worked. Her and I actually sat down, because I usually in my old bands, a lot of them, not all of them, but Forbidden mostly. I wrote mostly the lyrics, all the lyrics, and a lot of the melodies, and it was a different thing. So this band, I just like you know uh, I surrender that job because I don't really need to do it. But you're getting a lot of her personal stuff. So there's a lot there's a lot of layers of her all ingenious melodies. It's like she's playing chess. You know what I mean? Well, a
yeah,
lot of people are still like checkers. Like
yes,
she's incredibly involved. and for her age, you know, she's only 27 now. She was 22 when we started, when we got her in the band. So she's evolved a ton, and you know, there's more to go with her. She's super young. She's only going to get better as she gets a little bit older, and I look forward to like watching her grow. And you know, if she does it in this band or does it in another band, I'll always cheer for Kayla. I think she's a star in the waiting, just you know, waiting to figure it all out.
Yeah, her voice is so powerful.
Powerful,
I
yeah.
mean, I just like, I want to know you. That's a great song. Like, I love that song as well.
Yeah, it's a beautiful one. That's a pretty one. You know, and it's got it, but that's got that punk rock energy in the beginning. Like
Yeah.
that's a little Mikey riff. The da 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 da.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
he's very like inspired by those punk rock kind of elements. So it really complements what we do well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like the whole thing, like I said, you have to, I had to listen to it a couple times to really get, like I said, I'd be into something and then you get this. And then, I mean, there's so many layers to this band. I can't wait to see this band live.
Yeah, it'll happen. You know, I mean, you know, in the very near future, I got some plans, but as we look further down the road, Dress to Dead's something that I want to, you know, still very much concentrate on, and it's a special band. It needs to be tended to in that way. Can't
Oh,
just be a side burner thing, you know.
oh yeah, absolutely. And Vegas better be on your list.
It is. Well, you know, I grew up in Las Vegas.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
I'm from Las Vegas. Yeah. I was I would have went to Chaparral High School, but I moved right before I went to high school.
right. And Vegas has got such a, you know, this has such a heavy rock scene right now.
Yeah, and you have places to play right now, which is something that wasn't a whole lot of like 20, 30 years ago.
Right. I mean, you have, I mean, they just opened up a brand new uh place, an event center. The what is it? The Industrial Sound. I don't know if you've heard of this place.
I've
Uh
only heard of it. Yeah, I'm not
yeah,
familiar with what it looks like or
it's
anything.
pretty amazing
How
inside. The
many,
great.
what's the capacity?
Um that I'm not really sure because I went
Is it
for a
like,
record release party there. And I mean, it's big. I would gather to say probably 600.
oh, okay. It's a club.
Yeah.
It's a club.
Yeah.
It's not like Thomas and Mack.
Right. No, no. This,
No.
it, you know, I
Okay.
would say it's considered like a vamped, but a little
Okay.
bit larger
Okay.
than that.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds about the right size for us when we go
Yeah.
out there. Something like that, you know. Or smaller, you know. I mean, who knows?
Right.
Who knows what the future brings for Dress and Dead? I gotta say I am surprised, pleasantly enthused with the all the great reaction we got for something that people kind of didn't even know was going to come out. You know, we wanted to sneak it under the radar because we're going to release singles for it down the line with videos. So we
Right.
just kind of like wanted out because you know there's no like you really can't compare the way things used to be to the way things are now in the industry.
No.
And you know, you could spend all the time hoopla and hype, and people just they got about this much attention span for you. You know, if it catches you the right way at the right time, then you actually got lucky because people are just like moving on to the next thing.
Right. And, you know, timing is everything in this business. And,
It
you
is.
know, you guys are on the pulse. I can just feel it, you know. And yeah, because I reposted your post today and I was like really excited to you know, promote that for you guys because that's a, like I said, it's a great EP.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm sure I'll report to everybody that how enthusiastic you are about it.
Yeah, I mean,
They'll be happy.
you know, I love rock and roll and, you know, I've been involved in this business on and off for probably 10 years. And when I started my show, I was actually on Keep Rock Alive with Mike Petrelli during pandemic.
Mhm.
And we were interviewing rock bands. And then, you know, at some point when the pandemic got worse, we had to shut it down because bands were just breaking up, you know, as things were going along. So then I came back and rebooted it with my show, and it's been great. And I really appreciate you coming on, Craig.
Yeah, no problem. And I appreciate you having us. You know, I could actually add to that whole pandemic side of things because I mean, ultimately, I mean, I'm a pretty well connected guy, uh, but I'm also very suspicious of the way the industry moves and giving up too much of yourself at one time for something that really won't like have any kind of benefit for you if you give it all up at one time. So
Right.
I'm not impatient where other people are. And when the pandemic came along, it was like, so many people were panicking, and I was just preaching, just stay within yourself, make the art the thing, and then we went and did a really great thing last year. We went and played two major festivals in Europe. um Dress the Dead got to play the Alcatraz festival, and then a week later we played the Dynamo festival, and they were people fucking, they loved the band. They're like, what's happening? So it was all about this upcoming year and all about like planning for this year. And then it got a little bit like, it got a little sketchy when I got all this forbidden stuff kind of thrown at me. And I was like, I I got it. I mean, that's my universe too. Like that's my
Right.
band I grew
Of
up with as
course.
a child. So
Absolutely.
and then the opportunities are really really big, and it's like, okay, I've got to, the universe was telling me something, and I just told everybody to, to maintain that patience, and it'll all happen for us, because I mean, all that's going to happen is it's the word about Dress the Dead is going to go out further as I spread the wings, Forbidden again. It really all kind of works together.
Oh, of course. And I mean, yeah, again, we all had to stay calm and just ride it out. And
Yeah.
a lot of people, a lot of bands didn't, you
No,
know.
they got panicked. It was really easy to get spooked if you're like, I mean, the younger you are, the more things like that seem to be like insurmountable. And oh my God, it's never going to be like it was again. It's just the things you say when you're young and you're like, oh, I've got to hurry up. It's got to happen now, and Kayla was a little guilty of worrying like that because she's young and it's not her
Right.
fault. Like, trust me when I tell you it's a blink of an eye. I've got an 18-year-old, sitting in the living room right now that was like, I'm never going to graduate from high school. I'm never going to drive. I'm
Yeah.
never, and like now he's doing it all, now he's like independent, like kicking ass. It just happens. You just got to like let things come to you. And it's the same
Right.
with music, especially now when the rewards aren't as big as they used to be. Your biggest reward has to be because you love what you do. You have to love the art, love the music, love the people you play with. You have to want to be around them. Like all that kind of stuff is way more prevalent now.
Yeah. I
You don't hold your nose and like just go to rehearsal like you used to. Like
right.
you got to go in there like, I want to be here.
Exactly. I mean, you have to own it. Uh, a lot of these bands I'm talking to, they are owning it now, you know. Since everything happened, they got a different perspective on how things are done. They got to go for it. People aren't going to go for them. You've got to go for it yourself and make it
Right.
happen.
Right. Well, that's, if you really want to be signed, which I don't hold in the highest regard. But if you really want to be signed, there's going to be a lot of compromises you're going to have to make. And but they're going to want to see that you've done a ton of work on your own before they're going to invest money in you. And then it's like you get one shot, and if it doesn't hit for that one shot, they'll be like, well, we tried that one time. I mean, so that's why you have to be self-sufficient more than ever. And I do, I'm not getting preachy, but if any younger bands are out there, you got to understand this stuff. And a lot of younger guys do, and gals, because they rule TikTok, they rule, all these like alternate, YouTube personalities, and Twitch, and like that's shit that I'm not that interested in. But to some capacity, you have to do something like that to engage with people that want to go and find, what are you doing? What's your everything? What do you like behind the scenes? What's it like all the time? The mystery is gone, and it's you either showing who you really are, like I more or less do, or you're creating a persona that people are going to want to follow because they think it's more interesting than who you really are. So there's just different ways to go about it.
Yeah, and I mean, you have a world of experience uh in this industry, and the younger people, You just gave them some great advice. Upcoming bands. I mean, you have to do the work. It's not going
Mhm.
to come to you naturally.
Yeah, I don't. I'm sorry. I agree with what you're saying, but I don't know if naturally is the word. It's not going to come to you easily. Like
Right.
some things come to people naturally. Timing is only. When I was a kid and I started in Forbidden and we got our first record deal, things happened very quickly and escalated fast, and it was like, oh wow, this is easy. This is going to be easy. We're going to be doing this forever. And then things change around you. The industry changes. People's tastes change. Then you got to like get your bearings again. Oops, sorry about that. And then when as you do get your bearings, I'm gonna my laptop just shut off. There's half my light here. But as you do get your bearings, you know, so many of my peers like got jaded and bitter and didn't know what to do other than just play thrash. You know what I mean? But personally, I liked way more than just thrash. I mentioned the Beatles earlier, but I grew up on things that were, had depth and layers and melody, and so I expounded and expanded and tried different stuff that actually worked for me. And I started the band Man Made God, and then I got lucky again around 2001, and when Rick Rubin found us, and it was like gangbusters to sign the band. Anything for this band. But then the industry, like it just, it's a long story, but behind the scenes, there was a lot going on between record labels. There was a big change shift between Columbia and Island came in. Our band was just one of many that was just sitting there waiting. When's all this going to end? When are we going to get to put our album out? And we got super impatient. And as a band, like because we were young and we thought it mattered so much to have this out on this date and it had to be this time. And we blew a great chance to be. I mean, shit, man. If I would have, played my cards right and knew how to talk to the other guys in the band and get them organized, we would have probably been on our like seventh or eighth album by now. And then none of this other stuff would happen. There'd be no Dress the Dead. Forbidden would have never reunited. All these different things in my life. But I don't live with regret. And I don't know if you can tell that. I do not. And that's one of the reasons why I'm not jaded. That's one of the reasons why I don't feel old and beat down like, like other people that I know in this business that are just like, because a lot of people, all they know how to do is that one thing and they're paralyzed to really stretch out and try different things. They're like, oh, that might fail. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm for the art, man.
Right, exactly. What are some, I know you mentioned the Beatles. What are some of your other influences, things that really motivate you? And
Well, I mean, you get different times, different eras. I was, I was the kid who liked all the heaviest stuff that I'd heard, so I started, when I first heard, yeah, Kiss was a big part. I mean, obviously, AC/DC and Rush became a big thing to me. And then thrash metal, I discovered at a very young age. When I first visited the Bay Area in 1982, I discovered an old thrash rag called Metal Mania, which Ron Quintana, who's a pretty famous guy because he named Metallica, it was his little rag I found between two hit paraders. Like, what's this? And then so that started me on thrash, and then I moved back to the Bay Area, and I became a full thrash kid. So I was there ground level Metallica, Exodus, all that stuff. Before Slayer put out Show No Mercy, Merciful Fate. Yeah, I went through all those things, but then it came later in life, and I mean, I loved Soundgarden when Louder Than Love came out. I was given a free cassette tape of Louder Than Love at the Foundations Forum, which is the old metal convention they used to have, and I heard it. And I was like, whoa, this is like a super heavy Led Zeppelin. So I didn't know what grunge was. That wasn't a word. It was just like, this is good or this sucks. And so I liked Soundgarden. I liked Alice in Chains. I thought those two bands were great. And then later on, I really loved Radiohead. When I heard the Bends in 97, I think it was, or 90, yeah, 95. I heard the Bends, that really changed my ear. And then OK Computer. And then I was like, wow. So this, like, I'm wide open in my musical thing. And so a band, I want to throw out a band that I'm discovering a lot right now is King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, who
okay.
I wasn't that hip to them and how many albums they had. They just did like two sold out days of two shows a day at Red Rocks in Denver.
Oh
And they
wow.
put out some brutal heavy record. it's like super heavy, but they never did that before. They put out weird arty things, and they said, well, they're from Australia, they're from Melbourne. Phenomenal band. Amyl and the Sniffers, another phenomenal band. And then I'm going on a tangent. I really, as far as modern-ish, but not modern, Mastodon and Gojira sit at the top of my,
Oh yeah.
like, they're like, I think that tour to get with them together was like a dream come true. I think I'm going to go see them again in St. Louis and visit a friend of mine when I do.
Yeah, because they're on tour right
Yeah.
now, right?
Well, they're going to start their second leg coming up here
Right.
in late July, I think.
Which is great. Now, I know there's going to be some gearheads out there, Craig. Tell us about your gear and what you use.
I use Dean guitars. They make me custom thoroughbreds, all of my specs, which are like Les Pauls, but they're heavier. I have a heavier, but with the metal stuff, and Dress to Dead, that's what I use. In the metal stuff, I use all different kinds of their stuff. Their V's. I have a couple old MLs. I've been with Dean Guy for like since about 2002 or 2003, and they've always taken great care of me. Yeah, and then I use EVH MXR pedals, Dunlap strings, Dunlap picks, everything Dunlap. I got a great relationship with the people at Dunlap. So
Well,
yeah, I'm pretty. I keep it simple. I keep it simple.
yeah, you do. Totally. And I mean, it sounds amazing. So you're got to be doing something right, right?
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Shit. I'm glad you think so.
Well, it was great talking to you. I know you're a busy guy, and this EP is great, Craig. So amazing.
Thank you so much.
I would love to interview Kayla if she would be
Yeah. Yeah. We should try to set that up.
yeah, let's set that up because
She's
I
got a.
really like her.
Yeah, she's something special. She's something special. There's going to be a time, like I said, when she figures it all out and it all starts clicking for her, and she welcomes more into her life as opposed to pushing it back and not trusting. When she
Right.
trusts a little bit more, things are going to go really, really well for her. And I anticipate she's also a great actress. She does theater. She's like, she's a very multi-talented person. We were all lucky we found each other because we introduced her to wisdom and music that she would have never come
Right.
across this with kids. You know what I
No.
mean? Like you had to have dudes that actually had the experience, had the bones in the game, as they say.
Right. So it was great talking to you. Thank you so much for coming on. One question I always ask my artists at the end, I kind of do a fun question. If there was one album that you could take on a desert island with you, which one would it be?
Ooh, man. That's gonna be it's gonna be a Beatles album like Abbey Road,
Okay.
or it's gonna be The Bends by Radiohead.
Yeah,
You know?
artists usually pick two because they can't pick one. It's like so hard.
Yeah, maybe side two of Abbey Road and side one of the band.
Uh, two great
I have no
albums,
idea.
though. Two great albums. Take care.
For me personally, yeah.
Yeah, let's keep in touch, Craig. And I can't wait till you come to Vegas and play.
Yeah, sometime next year, we'll try to get Dressed to Dead out there. I mean, as I was saying, and for some of the people that don't realize, I do Forbidden as well.
Yeah,
Things are
I love
lining up
Forbidden. I love
fast.
Forbidden. So cool.
Yeah, but this isn't really about that. But things are lining
Yeah,
up fast, so I have to say no to certain things, and I have been
right.
saying no to clear time for other things. So I got to do what the heart tells me to do.
Exactly. And if you want to come back on and talk about Forbidden, I'm all for it. So keep that in
Sure, you
mind.
can set that up. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
sure. And
Take care.
I also do the boneless ones. I don't know if you know I do the boneless ones too, which is the Skate
Oh yeah,
Rock Legacy.
yeah.
We're we're playing Dynamo. We're playing Dynamo this year after Forbidden plays Alcatraz, and boneless ones are playing Dynamo the week after.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm
That's
a busy guy.
super cool. I know you are. But yeah,
You know
let's
what I'm
keep.
doing tonight? I just got to tell you, you know what I'm doing tonight?
What are you doing
My
tonight?
wife and I we're gonna go see the new Raiders of the Lost Ark movie.
Oh,
The
that's
Indiana Jones movie
awesome.
just came out.
A friend of
Yep, we
mine,
bought our tickets already. We're
yeah,
gonna go.
my friend of mine does movie reviews. He just went and saw it a couple weeks ago.
What did he say? Killer.
Thumbs up.
Good to know.
Very
Good to
killer.
know.
I'm a fan
All
too.
right.
I got to go see that myself. But have a
Yeah.
great 4th of July, Craig. Let's keep in touch. And I mean, you're amazing. And we'll set something up and we'll talk about Forbidden because I want to kind of get into that a little bit too.
Yep. Well, step by step, we'll get in there.
Absolutely.
All right.
Take
All right.
care. It was great
Have a great
meeting
weekend.
you. You too. Thank
Bye,
you
everybody.
so much. Bye-bye. Wow. Craig is one amazing guitar player. Not only does he work with Dress the Dead, he also is in Forbidden and a few other bands. So this conversation is going to continue. So definitely stay tuned for that. I'm the Vegas rock goddess, Carol Nevin. Thanks for watching. Always like and subscribe to On the Rocks Total Entertainment YouTube. And I will see you next time.